Welcome to the ASMR version of Hearts of Iron 3. Well, not exactly, but sort of. Been talking with some of my friends on how to grow the channel. What should I do to grow the channel? One of their big things is, or their recommendations, is that I edit my videos more. Quite honestly, one of the main reasons I don't is the time it takes to edit the videos. They think take a usual sort of Hearts of Iron 3 or 4 episode and reduce it somewhere between 1/3 and 2/3, get rid of the stuff and just sort of keep the high points. Then they very well may be right. I'm far from saying they are wrong. But one thing that I have been doing is, since I've been making the videos, is playing differently than I would play normally. Trying to keep the flow of what is going on with the flow of the video. So keep not necessarily action, but events and times flowing. Of course, I stop in. Sometimes it is a rant, most assuredly. Sometimes it is a just a monologue. But now we are going to go in and but normally, as playing with these units, I sort of nursed or whatever slowly ground through playing Hoi 3, just going on. Okay, so they're using LW for Luftwaffe. I'm guessing that's what that stands for. NS, National Socialist. There's a new one. Yeah, they would sort of use NS at the time. Maybe not so much. I know I have used some. And so as I got new units, I would, slowly do this type of work while playing. But we are creating a special episode of me just slowly going through and looking at my various possible, and we will get more, and I don't know if we just don't have enough to do all this, but I'm not going to keep an army guy here, and so for no leader for the moment. Okay, so you're going to be there. Nobody in the Luft Commando, he's under there. So we're just going to go through. No clock going along, and so we're not going to miss anything from events. If you don't want to watch this, don't stay around. Try and talk calmly. Okay, a fake general defense. I guess I'll leave him when I don't. I keep forgetting to remove that file. We're going to figure out which file it is to remove all those fake generals. Yeah. Now there were some, but I'm going to keep trying to talk in the ASMR, not super quiet or whatever, but don't know if I'll ever report if I actually put somebody to sleep during this. I don't know that there's enough generals for all these yet. I definitely did like the NSKK do specifically organizations or ORPO. Some of those weren't started by me. I definitely. Okay, I don't know. Did I fix that? Boy. I know there's a photo for him. So we're going to just talk about thingies as AA, so we should put him in charge of Well, maybe not this one, but another one. Now, see, one thing that sort of throws me off is I recognize most of the uniforms, so I know what, I just see, like this guy, Von Schrander. Okay, he's a commando of some sort, fine, but that's a naval uniform. Can't always recognize the police uniforms. Because if they don't have their hat on, black and white, it can look like a regular and fairly close up, well, in small detail, it can look like an army officer's uniform. Now that I'm gonna go SA as a guess. I don't know if that equals right for an SA, but he's either SA, NSKK, or NS. I don't think that would be an NSFK, the National Socialist Flieger Corps. Now he's RAD, Reich Arbeitsdienst. That would be an NSFK. So, so would he be? Okay, we'll put it in NSFK. That may be technically correct. Now, there were people, or men for the most part, that had both a Luftwaffe job, uniform job, position, whatever, and an NSFK job as well. So they are sort of dual. Is there two? Okay, so we have two Luft commandos here. Well, we don't need two Luft commandos here. Don't know why they were both put there. Okay, we have them up north of there. And I don't know which ones, if there was. Sometimes the units did get shifted around. But right now we're doing the Luft commandos, or the Luft units. Okay, this is a school. Let's see if we can find something to attach him to. Is this also a school? Yeah, or school Luft Commander Schule. Okay, whatever. We can't place a command of a single brigade, at least not properly. Okay. Don't know what to do about all these Krieg Schule ones for organizational purposes. We're going to save this a few times during this just to make sure that if something were to go wrong, all the work that so far done won't be lost. Now I think we've gone through the second reorganization, and I think it's the final reorganization of Luftwaffe structure. That is another reason or a major reason why I waited until now to do this, because I did not want to do it and then do it over again. Okay. Now, let's look at, yes, we are starting with some of the least consequential units first. Now, some of these, okay, that's an, okay, Urban Commando hold out there, okay. Some of these leaders actually had a fair amount of experience. I don't know, maybe we'll save you for someone else, maybe a little more likely to be combative. Troops in combat, I don't that I rate a bit higher. And I've rated some of these guys by, sometimes I was able to see their uniform or look on it. And I don't know how good of a general he is per se. But if they had significant World War I experience, I sort of gave them a bit of a benefit of doubt. Because I take a skill level 3 as to be a standard German general skill level. Because not all nations' generals were just trained to a overly good standard. Okay, well, we'll give you there. Okay, now in Berlin. And so I'm hesitant to promote you up as needed to get to there. You know, because I'm jumping around a little bit, I know. Say a Romanian general, which most German generals fairly well look down upon. The only, he was in charge of the SA for the Olympics. We'll promote you up. So maybe we want a Berlin job for you. Antonescu, I believe. Von Manstein had a good opinion of him. Yeah, that he was a rather good general. But the Germans had a fairly low opinion. You know, let's just... Yeah, we'll change him out. Let me find him again. So, you know, this I would not put a standard Romanian general at, say, 3. Because just training levels. Whether they would, you know, end up getting better, you know, over time there he is. Better experience and come up in quality, very well maybe, but not, I would say, starting out. So if I'm looking at a German general, he's going to be 3. Now there are poor German generals, most assuredly. Now I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay, he already had his commander. Well, is there somebody here that... One more, didn't we? That we fired to put in the guy who ran there. Yeah, well, him. So let's come over here. I want to do the guys out here. So I would have to have a reason, shall we say, to give somebody a skill set lower, a German general, than 3. But not all these personalities over here are German generals, army generals. And we're looking at their ground. If you attach an air unit or naval unit to one of these ground units, the skills of the leaders do not transfer over to their air units. So that doesn't matter. So some of these personalities, including some of the stuff I've done, I've added a personality, like some of these, and I've given them a leadership role for a ground unit and a leadership role, say, for an air unit, because some of them did do multiple jobs, and or sort of kind of their job was sort of twofold, in that they did command, as if you've been watching, presumably if you're watching this, you've been watching the series, you know, some of these Luftgau or whatever type commands, but also, or the other one, I forget what the other term was, the sort of regional, but they also sort of commanded and affected the air unit. So you can put them in charge of a squadron somewhere. Now, theoretically, it should be a squadron attached to a regional air unit or something, but I'm not that picky in any of this. You know, if you want to bury yourself into even more detail than I do in your playthrough, great, wonderful, have a great time. Like I say, I would normally play more detail on my own. Rarely on my own did I. Oh, getting ready for the war. But it was more like when... No, I don't want an urban commander for him. A lot of his guys are outside. Now, if the guys, either from their portrait or, because I did look up some of their, you know, some had, you know, Wikipedia entries or whatever. If they looked like they were a street fighter of some sort, I gave them, you know, urban fighting abilities. I don't know if they would have been good if fighting the Soviets versus just fight, you know, fighting with rifles and submachine guns, an invasion plot versus fighting with clubs and fists. But at least sort of they would know their city and maybe have a little better attitude. Sort of trying to put some of them, like this guy might have had cavalry background or something. He may have been an engineer or something. I don't know. From when I was doing the research on these guys. Obviously, to put someone in, I had to have a photo, because I hate the idea of not having a photo. And just having a blank photo or a generic thing. So, and there were a bunch of, in my trying to quick research some of this, like, oh, this looks like a good guy. Oh, died in what, 1933 or 34. It was part of the Long Knives, whatever year that was. Yeah, and I forget right offhand. Okay, we'll pull you up. I don't know how far down. Well, we don't have enough. There just is not enough SA leaders in the group. He's definitely sitting in an urban center of urban units under his likely command. Okay, so don't expect to have enough. And what's, you know, obvious, any unit that has 2 or more units in it, because I don't know, I guess not. I was wondering if I should save him for one of the better units like that, but these are so weak now. I'm not going to. them into any sort of combat. And I made them weak because multiple reasons, I'm sure. Okay, we'll put Charles Edward, Duke of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. What family? Obviously, it's the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha family, but what family has significant connections to the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha family? Yeah, so one of you guys, you can Google it, but extra points if you don't Google it and you know. He already has one. He has one, right? Okay, that was group 3. And it's a family has not been living in Germany for many, many years. So yeah, they do have a German connection, but you might not immediately think, oh, Germans. Well, why did I do that? I just meant to. We have this guy. So that's the 4th. So let's go to the 5th. See if there's any. Okay, we already filled them in, or so this may not be what you were thinking or hoping for the reorganization special. We will do probably in another episode here the army, setting up military or corps and whatnot. Yes, sometimes I forget. So that was the 7th. Let's try the 8th. Now, okay. I don't know if we'll be dumping these all at once or just use them, put them in a regular day and know that it's hardly going to get any views. You're in the mountains. There's actually a few that have mountain. I mean, the one I just put in did have hills. So like if you because, and then some of them may be showing up later just because of their sort of dates of promotion or their ranks. Some were fairly low in rank. So I figured, well, or when I found them or whatever, they can get promoted. Okay, but see, there was a Gebirgsjäger. It's attached to somebody. We're losing out. Okay. I figured this might happen here. Okay. Nope. I do. Oh, it crashed. It crashed. Okay, well, we'll be back with more of this.